All praise is due to Allah. And may Allah's peace and blessings be upon His final messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, this will be, some reminders on what to expect from ourselves. Inshallah, in a couple of days, we'll be entering, a season of worship, which is Ramadan. But more importantly, I want to talk about something that each and every single one of us should consider before even thinking about taking advantage of Ramadan. Why is making the best of Ramadan something important for us? I mean, is it something that we really should take care of because we hear all the people, preparing for Ramadan, Ramadan is coming, we have to make the best of Ramadan. When you hear all these words and people talking about Ramadan, sometimes it might just go over your head. Why we're really making sure why Ramadan is very important in itself. Well, Ramadan is just like any other month. We should think about what is our purpose here. Ramadan is important for us because worship in Ramadan is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why is this something important for us? Well, because this is our purpose as Muslims. If you are a Muslim, you understand that your priority in this life is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has created you and who has created this life for you. And He has given you so many tests that some of them has passed and some of them are coming. And you are living in some of these tests. And I keep on repeating this verse in Surah Tabarak, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. The one who has created life and death to test you, whom amongst you will have the best of deeds. So this whole life is a test. What we go through is a test. These seasons of worship are also tests for us. But it's Allah's wisdom that He made worship in some specific months more beloved to Him. This is what it means when we say that some months Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you more reward than other months. This is because Allah loves worship from you in these specific months. Okay, and it's a time for you as a servant to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gratitude, to show Him that I want to make the best of this opportunity and I truly worship you and I love worshiping you, O Allah. This is what's really important. Some people, when they think about Ramadan, they think about, Laylatul Qadr. I want to make the best of Laylatul Qadr. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is what kind of person will you be after Ramadan? You see, when we talk about making the best of Ramadan, it is a school that will change us to become better people after Ramadan. This is what you should think about. How should you change? What should you change in yourself in this month? And why is Ramadan a big deal? Because in Ramadan, you're leaving things that are permissible. You are leaving your food. You are leaving your drink. These are permissible things. You are leaving them for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are leaving this because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded you to leave this. So you're changing yourself. You're patient. You're controlling yourself. You're having more control over yourself. And this in itself is a gift, is a blessing. Do you really control yourself? Are you in full control of yourself? Many people will say, yes, well, of course I can control myself. No, you cannot. How many hours do you spend procrastinating? Saying that I'm going to do this specific task, and you find yourself wasting your time, going left and right, thinking about different things. You cannot have full control over yourself. If you say to yourself, I'm going to be reciting Quran for 1 whole hour straight, are you able to actually do this? You might say, yes, I have the intention to do so. But in reality, you might just spend 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you get bored. So fasting, and also these bad habits. We all have bad habits that we're fighting, that we're trying, to control. In reality, we have some control over ourselves, but complete control, that is something that you have to attain with practice, day after day. And Ramadan is a chance for you to leave many bad habits. These days, I know many people who are addicted to video games. This is something very serious. Many people take this lightly, but in reality, many people here are addicted to video games, young and old. Subhanallah, it's not just our children. I mean, my son is addicted to Fortnite, this video game. But in reality, we're talking about the general people. Many people are addicted to things which are haram. Many people who are addicted to smoking, addicted to other things. This is the time of change. Ramadan is a time for you to, you know what, let's turn a new page. Let's start fresh. Let's be better people. You have problems with your children. You have problems with your parents. You say, you know what, Ramadan's the time of change. Hearts are humble. Now is the time to make that change and to keep that change after Ramadan. So this is what your priority should be. I want to be a better person in Ramadan, and I want to stay that same person after Ramadan. Now, talking about Ramadan specifically, and why do we do this? Because, hey, you know, time is passing. Now, many people now, I'm very sure that many people miss the masjid. And many people had the opportunity to pray in Jama'ah, but they took that for granted. And what happened now? Now they can't even pray in Jama'ah. For those who prayed in Jama'ah, alhamdulillah, they got the intention there, and Allah Azza wa Jal is giving them their reward now. Even though they're not praying in Jama'ah, they're getting that reward of Jama'ah prayer because they were sincere and they had that intention to do so. So you don't know what's going to happen next year. You don't know if we're going to be staying here till next year. That's why take advantage of every single night. Let no night pass except that you make the best of that night, the best of that day. Speaking specifically about Ramadan, the two main things that you should concentrate on is the day and night, okay? The day obviously should be, you're preoccupied with what? Fasting, yeah? And the hadith that we have, من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Whoever fasts Ramadan out of belief, and underline the word belief. Out of belief, إيمانا واحتسابا, seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah Azza wa Jal will expiate all of his past sins. إيمانا واحتسابا. And so talking about the day, spending the day of Ramadan fasting. Well, let me tell you about how we used to do it when we were young. And unfortunately, this is the reality of our past childhood. When Ramadan came, that was the time to have long, never-ending sessions of playing video games. I'm sad, unfortunately, this was the case. And I remember asking one of my friends when we were in school, that was probably grade 6 and 7. I remember asking him, I said, you know what, how do you spend your time in Ramadan? He said, man, it's just Command and Conquer, the video game. We used to play hours, spending 2 hours, 3 hours on one game, one skirmish mission, as they say. But, it hit me. What are we doing? So what's the difference between us in Ramadan and before Ramadan? That is something important that you should ask yourself. Are you the same person in Ramadan, just like outside Ramadan? Is it just abstaining from food and drink? What's the point of Ramadan then? That's why I felt something was not right. You go to the masjid, you find people never leaving the masjid, opening the mushaf and reading. So why are they doing this? I kept asking myself, why are they doing this? Why are they changing themselves? You see many people, the look on their faces. When I was young, I saw this very clear. And many people in Ramadan, they look different. It's not about because of they're hungry or they're tired. No, they look so humble. They look so humble. And subhanAllah, when they greet each other and they sit in the masjids reading Quran, a lot of Quran, that made me ask questions. That's definitely a special time. Ramadan is a special time for us. So, man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban, out of belief. So you leave your food, you leave your drink, not because of the benefits of fasting, as they say. It's not a diet, by the way, guys. Some people are fasting, thinking that this is something to make them healthy. We're not doing this just for these benefits. Even if they did not come up with any health benefits, we're doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to train ourselves to become better people, obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in Ramadan, we should change ourselves. In the day of Ramadan, make some changes. Add worship and remove things that waste your time. Add worship, for example, reciting Quran. You're a person outside Ramadan, you don't know the mushaf. Okay, we're all guilty of this. Some of us might do a lot of recitation in Ramadan. It is less outside Ramadan. So we change this, and you know what? We say we're going to be reciting more Quran. So in Ramadan, we recite the Quran. We do as much as possible. Don't be that person who reads in the first day so much, and then that's the end of the story. And he doesn't open the Mus'haf until the 27th of Ramadan. They say this is Laylatul Qadr, and then he doesn't open the Mus'haf after that until next Ramadan. Don't be that person. Take small amounts of the Quran and say whatever you're capable of, and go with that. And then if you can increase on some days, that's alhamdulillah, that's good. So taking care of Ramadan, or taking care of reciting the Quran, this is what the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ used to do. He used to read Quran a lot with Jibreel. Yudarisul al-Quran, as Jibreel would come on the nights of Ramadan with the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ. He would, in Ramadan, he would recite the Quran with Jibreel. The Messenger Muhammad ﷺ would recite the Quran, Jibreel. So scholars have said, so this is the month of Quran. The 4 Imams and the rest of the people. So they said, yes, the Quran is one of the acts of worship of this month. That's number 1. Number 2, it is leaving bad habits. You're a person who used to joke a lot. Yeah, now is the time to change. Change that habit, okay? You're a person who used to lie, wal-'iyadhu billah, forged speech, used to cheat people. Now is the time to change. You're a person who used to look at haram, looking at pictures that are haram, okay? Doing things that are haram. Now is the time to change. If you're not gonna be changing in Ramadan, when will you change? Be brave. Take that step. And be serious about it. If you gotta change it now, you gotta change sometime. So take advantage of this opportunity and take that step. And you know what? I'm gonna change. Say to yourself, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna take that step. I'm gonna fill my time with worship. Okay. Now, many of us, of course, we're not gonna be engaging in worship 24/7. That's something we cannot do. But at least at times, when you're not reciting the Quran, make sure that you're not doing something which is haram. Make sure that you're not doing something which is haram. Okay. There'll be some changes, but at least don't do anything haram. Make some changes, at least some changes compared to your time before Ramadan. That's one thing. The other thing is that we need to concentrate on is, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from us in Ramadan? The hadith when the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ said, "Man lam yada' qawl az-zur wal 'amal bihi falaysa lillahi haja an yada' ta'ama wa sharaba." Whoever doesn't leave forged speech, wal 'amal bihi, and acting on evil, saying evil and acting on evil, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no need in him, that person, leaving his food and drink. What will Allah benefit from us leaving our food and drink? What does it benefit you if you leave your food and drink and you still don't leave the sins? Okay, I emphasize on this, okay, that you have to take care of this matter. Now, another thing is that we want to concentrate on the day of Ramadan while fasting is dua. Make dua. The fasting person has a dua that will be answered. A dua that will be answered hatta yuftir, okay, until he breaks his fast. So you have the day of Ramadan, whenever you don't have anything to do, just raise your hands and make dua. What do you ask? Someone here asked me, what is the dua for forgiveness? Ya akhi, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. Oh Allah, forgive me. Ya Rabbi ghfir warham. Rabbi ghfir li. Rabbi rahamni. Forgiveness and mercy. And these two things, by the way, you'll find in the Quran. وَقُلْ رَبِّ ghfir warham. Okay, and some of the du'as of the messengers. اغفر li warhamni. Maghfirah is expiation of sins. Rahmah is to have mercy, and rahmah on a servant, meaning to aid him in doing more good deeds. Rahmah from Allah is that He will have mercy on you, which will lead you to become a better person and doing more good deeds. So one of the du'as that you should be concentrating on in Ramadan during the day is Rabbi ghfir li warhamni, and this should be a du'a that you should be doing always. Rabbi ghfir li warhamni, Rabbi ghfir li warhamni. So, Rabbi ghfirli, which means, oh Allah, expiate my sins. Warhamni, oh Allah, have mercy on me. And Ibn al-Qayyim has mentioned, this completes the Muslim. Expiation of sins, Rabbi ighfir li. Warhamni, aid me in doing more good deeds. So not only are you expiating your sins, you're asking Allah to aid you, to have mercy on you, and to aid you into becoming better and to have more good deeds. So that is dua. And for you can ask, what is the, I have a question for you. Are you guys listening? Are you guys with me? I have a question. Are you guys here? Are you guys asleep? It's too early, brothers. Now I have a question for you. What was the most common dua the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ used to say? What is the most common dua the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ used to supplicate? Afu? Okay. No, I'm talking in general, not in Ramadan. What is it? Does anyone know? I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with dunya and akhirah. It has something to do with dunya and akhirah. What was the dua that the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ used to ask a lot? That is the dua for Laylatul Qadr. What was the general dua that the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ used to say all the time, not only in Ramadan, all the time? No, it's not that dua. It is ربنا أيوة جزاك الله خير. Okay, ربنا آتنا في أيوة جزاكم الله خير. Faraz and Shahzad جزاك الله خير. Yes, and Saj. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. This is one of the top 10 du'as that you should memorize by heart, brothers and sisters. This dua should be memorized by heart. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Or اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Give us the good in this world and the good in the hereafter. The good in this world is anything that will aid you in doing worship. And the good of the akhirah is what? Giving you paradise and high levels in paradise. So this is the dua the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ used to supplicate a lot. Okay? So I'll make a Q&A. You can ask after that, brother. So ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. This is something that you should be doing. Now, so this is a part of dua. We talked about dua, reciting the Quran and perfecting your fasting. Now comes nighttime. Now there's another worship. What is the best worship of the night of Ramadan? What is the best worship of the night of Ramadan? Question for you guys. The best worship on the nights of Ramadan. What is the best worship? Yeah, قيام الليل, tahajjud. Yeah, جزاكم الله خير. قيام الليل. Why? Because this is the time where the messenger, why do we say قيام الليل? Why is it قيام الليل? It's from two things. From the actions of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to spend the nights of Ramadan with doing qiyam, no different. Okay, or maybe in the final 10 nights, he'll be increasing. Yes, tarawih. He'll be increasing night prayer, which is tarawih. But this is the worship in all of the nights. And here is something very important. So if you're sleeping, now wake up. Pay attention, okay? If you were sleeping, wake up and pay attention. Something very important. It is tahajjud. Look, pay attention now. Look at the hadith. Man qama Ramadan. We have another hadith. Man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban. Whoever does qiyam of Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban, out of belief, and seeking reward from Allah, غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. To get this reward, expiation of sins, you have to do qiyam of all of Ramadan. How do we do qiyam of all of Ramadan? How do we do qiyam of all of Ramadan? I'll answer your question now. I'll answer your question. How do you do qiyam all of Ramadan? It means every single night of Ramadan, there should be some qiyam. There should be some qiyam. So some qiyam should be done in every single night of Ramadan. So let's say, for example, on Friday, they said Friday is Ramadan. So definitely, so that means Thursday night should be the first qiyam. You have to do qiyam. Anything, even if it was 2 units. 2 units. If you did 2 units every single night, alhamdulillah, then look, 2 units every single night is better than doing 3 hours of qiyam on the 27th and then doing nothing before that and nothing after that. Pay attention. Doing 2 units of qiyam every single night of Ramadan is better than doing 3 hours of qiyam on one night and leaving all the other nights. Why is that? Number 1, you get the reward of this hadith. Man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban. Number 2, you don't know what Laylatul Qadr is. Some people think that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th. That's not right. Laylatul Qadr can be any night of the final 10 nights, any odd numbered night. So if you do some worship in all the nights, alhamdulillah, you will be surely to hit Laylatul Qadr and to catch Laylatul Qadr and get the reward of more than 1,000 months of worship, more than 1,000 months of worship. So Qiyamul Layl. Now we don't have, before it was easy. If you do Qiyam with the Imam until he finishes, it will be written for you Qiyam of one whole night. But now that's not possible. We don't have an Imam or masjid. So every single one or every family can do their own Qiyam, okay, at home. How do you do Qiyam? Pray just after finishing Isha prayer, stand up and just do prayer. It shouldn't be, it's not something fancy. Some people concentrate on, beautifying it and looking at making it something nice and beautiful. It's not about that. It's not about that. Qiyam is something between you and Allah. It is to increase your faith. It is a worship for you to increase your faith. So recite, many of us cannot do this, reciting the whole Quran in Qiyam. We have to be serious about this. What I think is that reciting the amount of Quran that you feel that you're aware and you're conscious of is better than reciting a lot of Quran and you can't find your heart in prayer. Okay? In general, the more Qiyam, the better, yes. But make sure that you're conscious in that Qiyam, that you're aware of what you're doing. You have that khushu' of prayer. So that is something very important, to make sure that you do Qiyam every single night of Ramadan. Okay, that's very important. And Qiyam, as I mentioned, it can be at least 2 units. Now, common questions is that, what if you don't memorize Quran, and you don't want to read from the Quran? Can you repeat Qul Huwallahu Ahad? Yes, you can. Can you read Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Qul A'udhu Qul Birabbin Nas, for example, in 1 unit, and then keep on repeating it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So as much as you can. Now I have a question. I have a question for you. What if a person prayed, okay, alhamdulillah, he prayed 8 units, and then he prayed witr, 2 units, shafa', and then 1 unit, okay, 11 units, he prayed. And then he woke up before suhoor. And he said, you know what, I want to do some prayer. He already prayed witr. Is that okay? Or is that against the sunnah? Can he pray if he wants to pray? Yes or no? Can he pray after witr? Yes or no? Can he pray after witr? Yes or no? So he prayed his qiyam. He did qiyam. Yeah, okay. Okay. After qiyam, you prayed your witr and then you slept. Exactly. Jazakumullah khair. Muhammad al-Fatih, Jazakallah khair. Yes. It's without repeating witr. You do your qiyam, you pray whatever you want after, even if you prayed witr and then you slept. Muhammad Ibrahim, if you prayed qiyam, then you prayed witr, and then you slept, and then you woke up, you wanted to do some, you can pray. It's okay to pray. It's okay to pray. What Muhammad Ibrahim thinks once, wallahu a'lam, is that to make sure that witr should be your final prayer. We know this. But you can pray after witr if you want. If you woke up, you had the opportunity to do so, you can do this. The Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ prayed 2 units after witr to show that this is okay. Okay? And no 2 witters in one night, that's important. Okay? If you already prayed the witr once, you do not repeat it. You pray whatever you want, and that's it. You finish. Okay, does anyone have any specific questions? Where was the guy who was asking about video games? Okay, look, it's about, balancing it out. So if you had, for example, if you did a lot of good, okay, you wanted 30 minutes. And this is the thing, you say 30 minutes, can you control yourself? I mean, it's not haram. As long as it's something not haram and you're tired, you want to just, take a break, we can't say it's haram. Nobody can tell you that, it's haram. Nobody can say this. Nobody can say it's haram, okay? Okay, questions? So the guy was asking about the 30 minutes of video games. We said balance it out as long as you've done, alhamdulillah, you've recited Quran, you did a lot of dhikr, you made dua, you wanted to take a break of 30 minutes, not 4 hours, 30 minutes. Yeah, your parents are probably looking now, 30 minutes. Taking a break, yeah, that's okay. As long as you balance your day, and this is just a small part of your day, yes. Nobody can say it's haram, okay? Anyone has any questions regarding Ramadan fasting? Yeah, answer for witr. Okay, witr, if you wanted to pray witr, you finished your prayer, now you pray witr. The sunnah of the forms of sunnah is to pray witr 3 units consecutively without sitting down. So you pray the first unit, you recite Fatiha, and then you recite, it is preferred to do it in this way. You recite Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la, and after that, you recite Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. So this is second unit. Now, for the third unit, you don't sit down. After you finish your second unit, you directly stand up. It's a continuous. It's different than the form of Maghrib. And the third unit, you recite Qul huwallahu ahad, and that's it. When you finish, you sit down one time and you finish. Is that clear for the person who's asking? Okay, can you hold the Quran while praying Taraweeh? We said yes, you can. You can hold your Quran or your phone, you can. Sheikh Iyad, Assalamu alaikum, hayakum Allah. Okay, how many units? Now people, of course, now if you're going to be praying by yourself, if you're able to pray all of your prayer and make it in 11 units total, so 8 units, and then 2 units, and then recite, and then praying witr in 3 units, that's 11. To go out of all of this debate, to leave this debate, the difference between how many units, and wallahu alam, the most correct opinion is that there is no limit to the number of units. But if you're able to follow the example of the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ and finish all of your prayer in 11 units, then alhamdulillah, that's the best thing. That is the best thing. Okay, it depends. So all of your prayer, you make sure that you pray the number of verses or the number of minutes that you want to pray, you finish it at 11 units. But if you prayed more, if you prayed less, that's no problem. Can one finish tahajjud if the adhan of Fajr starts, or should we stop tahajjud well before the adhan? Well, what about eating and drinking, suhoor? You should finish before the adhan, obviously, before the adhan, okay? If you finished after the adhan, just continue your prayer and just do salam, okay? Because after the Fajr, there is no witr, yeah? Witr should be before Fajr, should be at night. Witr should be at night, and with the adhan of Fajr, night has ended. So make sure that you finish up before the adhan, because at adhan time, khalas, you finish the night. The time of witr is night. Any more questions? Okay, for the guy who asked holding Quran, even if you moved, so let's say you put the Quran on the table, then you stood up, then you held the Quran, you opened. Some of them would say that you're moving in prayer. We said there's a principle that movement for the benefit of prayer does not do any harm to your prayer. Movements for the benefit of prayer is permissible. Can we do qunut in every witr last rak'ah? And how was the qunut of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Okay, Now, the qunut, can it be done in every qunut? I heard recently Sheikh Suleiman and all the scholars, they used to say that's no problem to do qunut on every night. It's not an issue, but it is more preferred, okay? It's even more emphasized in the final 10 nights. It is more emphasized in the final 10 nights. A person can do whatever dua he wants, okay? Allahumma hadina fi man hadayt wa afina fi man afayt. The famous dua, you can recite it, the dua that the Messenger Muhammad had taught Al-Hussein, or Al-Hassan, don't remember now. And this dua, this is the sunnah, okay? This is the dua that was taught by the Messenger Muhammad. If you just you recite this dua, it's enough. If you want to do something more, it's okay. If you want to ask just for forgiveness and just normal dua, that's also okay. Okay, how much reward? Okay. How much reward would we get if we read Quran 2 hours in each prayer? In each prayer? The guy who's playing video games, you're gonna, mashallah, barakallah. Ya akhi, the more Quran you recite, may Allah bless you and your parents, the more Quran that you recite, the better. Okay, but try to balance it out so that you don't burn out in the first nights and then you have nothing to do in the final 10 nights. So wait out, balance it out. Try to do your best and maintain. Try to maintain. Some people, they'll go overboard the first nights. What's going to happen then? They're going to get bored. They're going to get a bit overboard until the night. So try to balance it out. And then at the final 10 nights, just raise it up a bit and continue. Yeah, Sheikh, this is a serious question. I always try to balance my sleep during Ramadan by sleeping after Taraweeh and waking for Suhoor. But it always... thus I tend to stay up just not to miss it. Okay, Abdurrahman, everyone is different. Everyone is different, okay? But you try to balance it out. So that's why try your best to do some qiyam after Isha directly. Pray Isha and then do whatever you can in qiyam and then rest. And then rest, have a meal and then do more qiyam. And then if you want, you can sleep and wake up at the end and do more prayer. But, everyone's different. You should wait out, okay? That's why before sleeping the first time, make sure that you do witr, just in case, so that you don't miss out on witr. Okay, will you be conduct any tafsir courses every night during? Wallahi, there's an intention. There's an intention of doing this. Do you guys prefer the tafsir to be videos, or do you want it to be a discussion like this for the tafsir? We want to pick one verse. We want to pick one verse from every juz, okay? And we want to discuss this verse. So do you guys want it to be a live session, or do you want it to be just a video on every verse? So 30 verses. Okay. So you don't want any discussions, huh? You don't want any people to discuss this? You want it to be interactive. Okay, if you guys think that it's more beneficial, to discuss this, can you guys pick a time? Okay, record it. Okay, so it can be listened. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, we'll see, inshallah. We'll see. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay. Okay, Iyad. Okay, Jazakumullah khair. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Okay, I have a question for you people. Do you guys have any questions? No questions? Khalas, if you guys have no questions, khalas, I think we'll end it here. Okay. I wasn't such a good player, Saj. Jazakumullah khair. Khalas, with this, inshallah, we'll end. And inshallah, we'll think about it. Maybe we'll make a live session. We can discuss verses, and then we can make a Q&A. We can make a Q&A session after the tafsir session, so that we can have questions regarding the tafsir and general questions, inshallah, so that we can all benefit. اوكي، جزاكم الله خير. هذا والله اعلم، وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خيرا.